hovered above the table. Whit's silky nightclothes began to writhe and contort as if alive. His motions became increasingly frantic, fear sprang bubbling up through the ground around them. Then, in a flash, his body shape physically changing, molded like wax, he became another person, shorter, with stark white hair and subtly different features. This is the real him, she realized. A man not from their world, who masqueraded as Wit, but his change had been physical, not an illusion. He turned to her, pencil snapping under the pressure from his fingers.
I've been tricked, he said.
How? She asked. The sand turned black and sprayed back down onto the counter. Wit's shape reverted to his old familiar self in seconds, and the room quieted as if at an order from him, save for her fabrial alarms strobing the room white and red. He stood, again taller than she was, and held up what he'd written.
I'm missing, Wit said. 3 minutes and 27 seconds.
I'm not following, she said. Forgive me, Wit. I'm trying to parse this, but Storms, what is happening?
I'm sorry, he said, slumping into the seat beside her stone counter, a natural feature of the room that jutted from the wall. I have lived a very long time, Yasla, longer than a mortal mind can track. So I store memories in something called breath, easily accessible, if costly, and easily accessible if costly form of investiture a person can adopt, and with training used to expand their soul. I periodically review my memories, deciding what can be jettisoned. In my review just now, I found something unexpected, something terrifying.
3 minutes and 27 seconds, she whispered, interrogating the notes on his page, as if by force of will she could decipher them. Missing when?
A bit over a day ago, he said.
And what were you doing at the time?
He let out a long breath, then met her eyes. I was having a chat with Odeon.
A chat, she said, her heart trembling, with the most ancient enemy of humankind, the being that seeks to destroy us, to crush my family, to weaponize all of Roshar for his own ends. A chat.
We have a history, Wit explained, as I believe I've told you.
Yasna turned off her alarms, then pulled a chair over and sank down, feeling sick to her stomach. I asked you, Wit, she whispered. I asked you to involve me in any dealings you had with him.
I'm telling you now, Yasna, he said. That is technically involving you.
She held his eyes and knew. There would never be a place for her inside his deepest self, would there? She'd always be on the outside, maintained as part of his collection, enjoyed, perhaps even loved, but never confided in. She had to withdraw for her own sake. Anxiety spread like twisting black crosses, vanished as she tucked away the feelings of betrayal. She had known what she was getting into with him. One did not court an immortal lightly. What were you saying to Odeon? She asked.
He shrugged. I had to gloat a little. It was requisite, considering our history. His eyes became distant. I remember feeling odd about the encounter. A sense of repetition. Something happened in those lost minutes. He got the better of me, then excised the memory from my mind, letting me believe I'd won the exchange. Now that I'd look, I can find the remnants. It was hurriedly done.
This is wrong, isn't it?
Fantastically wrong. Race is a megalomaniac, Yasna. For all his craftiness, it would hurt him to let me walk away thinking I'd bested him. Yet this time, he encouraged it. Wit leaned forward and took her hand. He's grown. After 10,000 years, Reyes has actually learned something. That terrifies me. Because if I can't anticipate what he will do...
Then what?
We have to reread the agreement between him and Dalinar, Wit said. Now!
Yasna had a copy. After Dalinar and Odium had agreed upon the terms, the sibling had been able to quote for them the exact wording. They indicated that an agreement between gods wasn't quite a contract, but it could be written out as one. Wit started to scan it. Wit, she said, feeling genuinely unnerved. Odium said he would keep to the spirit of the agreement, not exploiting loopholes. You confirmed this was indeed how it would work?
So I thought, Wit murmured, still reading. I also thought I knew Reyes. Everything is uncertain.
A pounding sounded at the entry to her rooms. She pressed her hand on the wall and asked the sibling to turn on the lights, then passed out of the bedroom through the sitting room to the door. She rapped out a pattern and heard the proper knock in return, then eased open the door to reveal Hendit of the Cobalt Guard, a man with discretion to match his general poise. She trusted him as much as she trusted any, so wasn't bothered when he saw Wit leave the bedroom. What? She said to Hendit.
Radiant Shalom and High Prince Idolin have returned, Your Majesty, he said in a low voice. Armies are moving through Shadesmar toward Azamir, and they report the Oath Gate will let them through. Your uncle has called for a meeting at First Bell.
I'll be there, she said, then closed the door and looked back across the sitting room toward Wit. An invasion force closing on Azamir. She and Dalinar had both anticipated there would be attacks right up until the deadline, but they'd expected border skirmishes. After all, what kind of major offensive could be mobilized and executed in just 10 days?
I knew the loss of cultivation's perpendicularity was going to bite us, Wit said. We should have fought for it.
We didn't have the resources to hold the seas of Shadesmar, Yasna said. We can defend against this assault, assuming
there aren't much more assaults coming. Assuming there aren't more such assaults coming, Wit said, which seems a dangerous assumption. Something about this feels wrong. So very, very wrong. What else have I missed?
If you have missed something, will you perhaps miss it again as you study?
You're right, he said. He took a deep breath. You're right. We need an expert, beyond even my considerable knowledge.
Do you know any?
On your world, he asked. Only one. But she and I aren't on speaking terms. I will instead see if I can contact an old friend.
Navani was not asleep.